Hello and a very warm welcome to Bharata First. I'm Rausan Pereira. This is Frank Talk, and I have a very special guest with me on the program to talk about, battling new age financial scams. We have so many of them taking place, and also what is being done by the government to ensure that the public is better prepared as far as these financial scams are concerned, and also investor education. What does it mean? What's being done? Special guest on the program, let me welcome Anita Shah Akella, who is the CEO of the Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority, that is the IEPFA. Anita ji, welcome, and it is a real pleasure to have you here. Let's first understand the role and the scope of the authority. What does it do, and what is your role as well?
The Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority was formed under Section 125 of the Companies Act 2013. In the 1956 Act, we only had the fund, Investor Education Protection Fund. And the money was, the dividends were not to be given back to the claimant, but were to be used for purposes of education, etc. So there were different stages that the fund has followed over the years from 99 till 2016. Thereafter, once this authority was formed in 2016, the authority's main job is one, to administer the Investor Education Protection Fund. Now, what is the inflow into the fund and what is the outgo of the fund, right? So, the inflow is basically you have you purchase certain shares. You have to have a bank account where the dividend pertaining to that share goes in. You've shifted stations, you've shifted maybe within the same city, you probably closed a bank account, opened another one, and forgotten to inform the company. And the company keeps sending the postal dividends either to your address or keeps sending the dividends to the bank online. So, and it goes back unencashed because you shifted residences or you shifted banks, as the case may be. So, when it goes back unencashed for 7 years, so the law of limitation, 7 years, you presume dead unless you prove yourself to be alive.
Yes.
Right? So, that 7 years period has been taken. And taking the 7 years, the money is, the company is supposed to be distributing the dividend within 30 days as per the Companies Act. And beyond 30 days, when the encashment does not take place, it goes into an unclaimed dividend account, which is maintained by the company. And after 7 years, the company has to remit this into the IEPF fund. And along with that, the underlying shares are also given to the fund, to the authority. And the authority holds the money as well as the shares in trust for the claimant or their legal heirs to come and claim for it. So the authority has got twofold objectives. One is to give the dividend and the shares as and when they are claimed to the rightful owners after they identify themselves. The second is to conduct awareness activities around financial literacy, financial awareness, how not to fall prey to scams, etc. We have a lot of players in this investor education field. We've got SEBI, we've got DEF fund, which is run by RBI. Then we have got various mutual funds also, which do a lot of these education activities. So IPEF, Investor Protection and Education Fund, is there, maintained by SEBI and by others.
So this is all under the ambit of the IEPFA?
No, this is not under the ambit of IEPFA. These are different funds which are maintained.
Okay.
But the IEPF fund is maintained with the government.
Right.
With the proper government, like it's in the public account of the government, and IEPFA is a proper government agency, so to say.
And there are similar ones like you just mentioned,
These are again under SEBI or mutual funds, etc.
Yes.
Mutual funds are private also. SEBI is again a regulator.
Yes.
And RBI has the DEF, where your unclaimed bank deposits go into the DEF fund.
Right.
So these people all look at the scope of investor education, but SEBI probably looks at stock market education. Mutual funds looks at mutual fund education. It is IPF which looks at all the education, mainly focusing on the rural education, trying to look at financial inclusion of the rural and the semi-urban people. Like we go to the extent of telling people how to open a bank account, how to keep your money safe, how to, if somebody tells you that your money is going to double in 2-3 months time, don't believe them. Read the fine line. There are no free lunches.
So
These
literal
kind of
hand
things.
holding as far
Yes,
as
yes,
financial literacy is
yes,
concerned, and
yes,
getting them
yes.
accustomed to the financial system
Yes.
as a whole.
In fact, because of a lot of government schemes, a lot of money started going to the rural poor. So some unscrupulous person may come, कि भाई you give me 10 lakh, मैं तो वो 2 महीने में 20 लाख करके दे
Correct,
दूंगा.
correct, correct.
Don't believe him. And women in the villages are usually used to keeping the money in potlies, tying up the money and
Right,
putting it in
right,
rice
right.
bags or in wheat bags or something like that.
Right.
To take that money out, put it in a bank account, utilize that, then how you do bank account transfers, don't share your OTP. So these are the kind of small financial literacy activities which are very important in fact.
Absolutely,
This is what we do.
absolutely, absolutely. Especially with Jandan and all of these other things that the government is
Right.
doing, so it becomes far more important to
Right.
try and educate them also as to what they are getting into. There's no point being a part of a system if you don't know what it does. I was going to ask you a couple of questions on unclaimed assets, etc. But since you pointed out about how literacy is the key role of the IPFA, let's focus on that for a little bit. As far as the state of financial literacy in semi-urban and rural India is concerned, what is the state of financial literacy and what is being done? What would you say are the two main things that are being done to ensure that we try and reach a good level of financial literacy?
So, around 2-3 years back, we had got a study done. So, it was about 16% financial literacy was there in the whole country. So, at IEPFA, we are focusing on the rural areas. So, we have entered into a partnership with Indian Postal Payment Banks. They have this village Gramin Sevak. Gramin Dakya or village Gramin Sevak. These are ladies who are basically post women and they have been educated. We have a training for trainers where we educate them about these small things that I discussed earlier, opening a bank account,
Right.
running everything,
How to be a part
make
of the financial
payment,
system, yes.
etc. All those things. So these ladies, they go down to the villages as they are doing their duties as post women, डाकिया जो giving the post
Post,
etc.
yes, G.
वगैरह, they also do this work. So our concept is like each one educate 100. So we have 50 to 100 people. They have camps in each of the villages, rural districts, etc. We have camps and they educate the thing. So we start off like पहले आपको क्या क्या आता है, find out what all they know. So you have a quiz, they know nothing, and then this lady educates them for an hour or an hour and a half, and then there is another quiz, so the literacy improves. And then we tell them कि आप अपने घरों में अपने बच्चों को और आगे सिखाते जाइए. So it's like kind of spreading the financial literacy all over. That's one. We also at some point we just stopped this recently. We got to restart it. We had Niveshak Sarthi. These are multi-purpose vans where you have these screens where we play all these. We play all the small TVCs that we had made for educating people. And the village level entrepreneur, a small guy, he goes around explaining to people how these things are done and also distribute financial literacy material. So we've got financial literacy material in about 16 languages and they're all segment wise. Like if you're a pensioner, you're a woman, you're a child, you're a businessman, you're a small businessman. So these kind of various segment we have investor material so that we distribute.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, let me go back to a point that you're making about, earlier, using the post office and the post people, integrating them within the scheme of things to reach a larger audience. I think that's brilliant because, if you look at the post office, they have several of these Kanya schemes and all of that also that are run very successfully. So what is the level of collaboration, integration really as far as, various arms are concerned?
So this is basically IEPFA entered into an MOU with the Indian Postal Payment Banks.
Right.
So these postal payment banks also kind of educate people about this Sukanya Samriddhi or PPF or PM Kisan Yojana or PM Bima Yojana, whatever yojanas are there, I mean, of the government,
Right.
that is also educated.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So the scope, the net is cast really
Yes,
wide.
yes,
So the net is cast really wide. So
In fact, the first phase of Niveshak Didi we had taken off on November 22nd of November of 2022, which we did in 2022. In fact, we had done it in this place, Jammu Kashmir, on the Dal Lake. So we had a floating financial literacy camp, and this was inaugurated by our then Minister of State, Shri Inderjeet
Indrajit
Rao
Rao.
Singh, and also by Shri Farooq Abdullah. So we had a state level conference in Kashmir. So this was the first floating literacy camp, and this was very much appreciated by the Honorable Prime Minister also. So in the first phase we had about 1,100 camps, and thereafter now in the second phase, which we started in April, we've planned about 4,000 camps.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's take the discussion forward now, and let's look at areas that are challenging, or what are the stumbling blocks or roadblocks in trying to achieve 100% financial literacy. You said the number maybe 4 or 5 years ago was at about 16. It might have gone up a few notches from there. We may be at around 20 or 25%. So in our ultimate aim, we would like to be 100% financial literate. So what are the stumbling blocks, or what are the challenges?
The stumbling blocks for IEPFA per se is currently IEPFA is more known for its first set of mandate, that is returning the shares and dividends back to the claimants. So we are running short of manpower, so we are mostly into this right now, mostly into returning the shares and claims and dividends, etc. For us, the biggest stumbling block is the lack of manpower to really go ahead and do this kind of work. So we are partnering with other organizations. Like we were proposing to partner with ACCA for school education, for financial literacy in schools. We were proposing, like we partnered with various banks that in the ATMs, etc., they show our financial literacy this thing. So, but our reach is basically, as I said, very rural and this thing. But it's only up to this. So all of us, all the players in this game, have to work together to cover the entire spectrum.
Absolutely. Okay, since you brought up assets, and you also meant that is, of course, another fundamental pillar, really, as far as the
Main pillar.
IEPFA is concerned. So, what is the status of unclaimed assets? What is the level of unclaimed assets really within the ambit of the IEPFA, and what's being done to get them to their rightful owners?
We have been we have become very proactive in the last 1 or 2 years, wherein FM finally had formally started an Aapki Punji Aapka Adhikar campaign in October of this year. And this was across the unclaimed asset spectrum, be it banks, be it insurance regulators, be it SEBI, be it mutual funds, etc. This was across the spectrum. But what we have done is we have gone proactively and along with SEBI, we hold Niveshak Shivir. The latest one, next edition is coming up in Jaipur on 6th. So in this Niveshak Shivir, usually what happens is, like as I said earlier, that your dividend is for 7 years with the company, and after 7 years it comes to us.
Correct.
Right? So when it comes to us, you have to claim through a form, and there is a process involved. For the company also, there's a process involved. ISR 1, 2, 3, there are certain forms where you have to update your KYC, etc. Once you update your KYC, even if you've forgotten it for 2-3 years, your dividend starts coming back and your share does not come to IPFA. So
Right.
this is preventive. And then once it comes to IPFA, then there is a process of documentation and all that which is required. Then we do certain checks, and then we return the money and the dividend and the shares back to you. So this is post. So in this Niveshak Shivir, we combine both. So how would you know that it is with us? Where is my, I got certain physical shares in my house, I don't know what to do about it. come to our website, iepf.gov.in, come to our website. We have a search facility. Put in the folio number or put in your name or put in your last known address. There are various combinations. Check where is your share. Whether it's with the company, then you go to the company. If it is with us, file a form and follow the process.
Two final questions, because I know you have to be elsewhere as well. We can go on talking about this. There's so much to talk about, but we'll leave it with the last two questions and probably take up a few other matters at a different time. As far as we are in the age of technology, AI, etc., etc. So how is technology being incorporated, and what is the scope to further incorporate technology into the system?
So currently, as I said, we have an online filing platform where you have an IEPFA form which has to be filled online. Then certain documents have to be attached to it. As of today, you've got to send a physical form to the company, take a print again. So there is a lot of physical aspect which is involved. And earlier, just about a few months back, we had three different systems which would not talk to each other, which led to a lot of delays in the claim process. So we had MCA 21. Once you approve it, you go to the depository system, then you make a share transfer, then you come back, then you again make a dividend transfer through the PFMS. So now we've got all these three systems talking to each other. So we have an integrated portal. This was announced by the Honorable FM in the 23 budget. Finally, we've got it up and running. So this is one thing that has been taken care of. The second problem that people face is that my claim is taking too much of time. I am told that it should be done in 60 days time, but you're taking 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. There are a lot of discrepancies being raised, etc. So now we propose to use AI, that normal kind of claims just go through kind of a green channel and they move quickly. And only the suspicious claims is where we will take more time to, verify it. And below a certain value, we will send it straight through. So based on what the company says, we will immediately pay the claimants. So this is the plan.
Something that the CBDT is doing with the income taxes this year. So on those lines.
More or less is the Pareto principle that everybody follows based on the risk analysis.
Absolutely. Finally, before I let you go, Anita ji, any message that you would like to send out to first-time young investors, or any advice that you would like to give to those who would like to safeguard their financial future?
So the advice that I would give is, there is too much of data, too much of information available. Choose wisely. There are a lot of financial influencers. Go only by SEBI approved financial influencers. Go only by approved advisors. And remember, there are no free lunches. If somebody is offering you free lunch, read the fine print.
I think that's where we lose the plot. Even, educated urban members of society, refuse to read the fine print. And that's where they get taken for a ride. And that's something that is very, very important. At the end of the day, know what you're getting into before you get into it. That is what will keep you safe. All right, Anita ji, we'll have to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me on the program. Well, that was Anita Shah Akella, of course, the CEO of the IEPFA, talking to us about how to safeguard your financial future. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Frank Talk. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon and share the content so that more people get to know about us. Until next time, this is Frank Rausan Pereira signing off.